Okay, guys, so today we're going to tackle the little house. I know I've been waiting and pushing it off because, you know, it's cute, and I don't think it's going to be as easy as you think, but it's okay. There's also obviously stencils in here, and one of the stencils made this cracker, and I got the comment a lot on this video that they wish that it was a die. Yeah, I wish it was a die too, but I think what Sarah would say is that, you know, obviously that would make the kit more expensive or something like that, even though, you know, I don't know how much it costs to manufacture a die, but like it would be nice. Yeah, of course it would be nice, but I think they just added in there as value added. And even though it's not the easiest thing to work with stencils, it's just something else that you have, right? So if I do have a link for this box, it is back in stock on HSN, so you can get it there. And it will be an affiliate link, which means I make a small commission if you were to purchase through that link. So thank you if you were inclined to use those links there. And then somebody else had mentioned that she pulls her crackers real tight. There's no pulling this more tight, because I was like, well, I don't think, because of the paper. If you were using like maybe tissue paper, I don't know why you would use this for tissue paper, or gift wrap, like a thicker gift wrap, maybe, right? Because it's going to be a little more, but this is cardstock, and it's not even the thickest cardstock, it's Recollections cardstock. And there's no pulling it tighter, unless you want to crush it and it's going to look really bad. So that's not a thing that's available for this one, because we were talking about the opening. And other people said, you know, just wrap whatever you're going to put in there in tissue, and then you can put something in here. But yeah, so there's a stencil. Obviously, I didn't create the box. I didn't make this, so I know some people, one gal was really sweet. She's like, oh, I almost gave this video a thumbs down because she didn't care for the stencil. And I'm like, oh, I've never thought of that. Like, to me, if someone gives me a thumbs down, it's because they didn't like my video, and that's fine, or they don't like me, and, you know, that's fine. I know some companies don't even allow thumbs up or thumbs down, you know, likes and dislikes, which is kind of crazy to me. I don't care. Whatever. Like it, don't like it. But I thought that was funny. I was like, oh, really? You would thumbs down for a product? I normally think that's for me personally, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, whatever. I never looked at it that way, so I thought that was kind of fun. So I will use the stencil, obviously, for the little house, and I don't even know what layer it's on. It's supposed to be on the second layer, right? But I think this, I've been using it so much, everything's getting mixed up. Or is the little house on the third layer? It doesn't matter. I'm going to pull out whatever layer it comes from. You know what I keep forgetting to use is this. I love stencils, and this snowflake stencil looks like something I really want to use. So yeah, it looks like it's on the last... Ooh, what am I dropping over here? On the last layer. I know I can't get everything in here because this box is so big, and I only have so much workspace here, but let's... Yes. So it is pretty small. So let me grab some papers. Again, it's on the last layer. The last layer has those very pastel colors that aren't really my favorite colors. I'm going to see if there's something in here that would make sense to trim out a little house. I'm assuming it's like a gingerbread house, but it can be like just a little holiday house, right? So let me look through there. I know there's stamps that are kind of associated with this because they have like windows and doors and stuff like that. You know, all those things. I know when Sarah showed it, she already had stamped and cut out, and you know, how cute, because yeah, well, once it's ready, but there are no dies to go along with this. So if you're going to stamp this and cut it out, you're fussy cutting. We have the shingles. I suppose you stamp it on here, or you can stamp it on something else, then bring it over. I think I'm going to stamp right on here because I don't want to mess with it too much. And we'll see what we can do. So, again, I think it's going to look more like a holiday house than a gingerbread house, okay? But if you have your old gingerbread men from, like, the Diamond Press, which I don't know why you would want to do that because the Diamond Press one came with dies, you might as well cut it, right, with your dies. But, you know, any other set you have, like little snowman, little whatever, to decorate your house, I think that'd be really cute. It's just something else that you can do, right? So let me go dig through this and we'll get started. So there's this beige kind of paper in that same level. I think if you wanted to use this for gingerbread, I think it would work. It's very light. You're gonna have to do a lot of distressing and inking, but for now I'm just making it, you know, a house that's... It might end up being kind of boring, you guys, this little house. I don't know, we'll see. We're gonna do this twice, and I know we can be lazy and try to maybe hold two pieces of paper together and cut them at the same time, but I think I'm just gonna have to trace it and cut and score it and everything separately. But let's open this up. Again, yes, it would be nice if this was a die. You know, for the same reason, I don't think it would have hurt for this to be a die, obviously. But I know whenever Sarah does like the double-sided, I'm just gonna trace this whole thing. See, this is what's hard right here. I guess I'm just gonna cut it. I'm just gonna cut from here because I'm not gonna take the time to cut this from this, you know, two little lines. We're just gonna keep drawing here. What are those things called? The double-sided dies. She says because if it was individual dies, it would be priced out of the market, which I don't know about that because the double-sided dies aren't cheap anyway, and you can... Plenty of companies sell a bunch of dies or layered dies for not too much money. So I don't know. Okay, so all these lines right here we are supposed to score. This pencil's so dark. I know. I'm still gonna go ahead. And like I said, you have a big space in here. Now you can take, like, let's say I'm gonna take this and push into here. I don't know that it's really gonna make the score lines that I want it to, but let me look. If it does, I'd rather do that for the scoring. I don't mind. It kind of does. This is a paper pad under here. So what I would do is bring back my stamping pad. That would be good. I don't really want the lines on here, you know? So I'm going to score it through as much as I can. I do need, obviously, the contours of this thing being written. This is the other thing about scoring. I'm like, did I redo that one? Let me see here. Da, da, da. I can feel them. Did I do this one? Yep. Okay. Not bad. That's not great either. Alright, so we're going to have to do 2 of these. That means you're going to have to use 2 pieces of paper from the kit. This bottom part doesn't really need to be rounded, but if you want to take the time to round it, go ahead. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be buried under. It's going to be taped up anyway. You can just do it squared off. It doesn't have to be perfectly rounded, but actually none of this needs to be rounded, so I'm going to go up here. This has a round edge. Doesn't really matter. That's just extra that's going to be hidden away anyway. So I'm just going to give it a cut. Again, I'm staying right on the lines as well as I can. And it's going to just cut away that extra. And here too, it doesn't really have to be rounded, but you know. On the very top, there's supposed to be little, these 3 little holes so you can put it together, but I don't know that I'm going to make it like that. So we'll see when we get there. So that one you can round because that is going to be visible, but in my idea, I don't know that I'm going to make it visible. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense, but you do want to round these corners. That's not that great. Okay, and then we already did all these little lines that this one's going to be towards you. This one's going to be up like this. Oh, one more divot. That wasn't too hard and complicated like the cracker. Obviously takes a little more work. And if you do want to use your pencil lines, go ahead and then just erase them, or, you know, however you want to do that. I'm going to trace this one in, but this place, there we go. Oh, you know, I just noticed my doors are open. Sorry, you might hear some traffic. Apparently people have lots of places to go during a pandemic. They're just going up and down the street here. Alright. So, this is half of the house, right? So I'm going to cut out another one, and you saw how long that took, and you're going to cut out another one that takes just about as long. Okay, I'm going to do it the same way, just trace it and then do the scoring behind it. I still haven't decided if I'm going to do these pieces separate or do them right on here. It's probably cuter to do them separately, so I don't know how much time I want to take to do this. I just wanted the basic construct to be something that we do here. Let me just give it some thought, but I'll come back with a second one of these. Okay, to be honest, I'm like racking my brain. I don't see how this is very holiday-ish, that's all. I'm like, eh. I mean, obviously you can use different papers. To me, it wasn't worth coloring the house with like colored paper or using colored papers on the house because it seems odd, but do whatever you like. I'm just trying to see if my idea of just making it into a little house would work. Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought. Let me think here. I may just cut off one of the sides of this. Okay. So, we want to stamp this. I was thinking this would be cute to stamp with some embossing powder, you know, maybe some pigment ink and then emboss it, or just with your VersaFine something, or your Versamark, and then emboss it. But for now, I'm just going to stamp it, and I'm hoping that this works because I folded up my papers before I probably needed to, so I'm gonna have to hold this down really well and get that stamped on there. And I'm just gonna stamp it. I mean, I think blue would be cute, right? Make it more festive, but my brain is just not thinking that right now. I'm just going like regular house mode. So let me see if I have a brown here. Should have brought all this out earlier. This is Friar Brown. But again, you have probably stamps and like not stencil, but stamps that you can cut out that are like, what's that called? I can't even think of the words right now. Oh my gosh, this is hard to see through. This is not... Let me fold that under, so at least I'll have more of a general idea where I'm going with this. Like Christmas lights, I think that'd be really cute. Cute. Way off. Oh, that's a bummer. I'm gonna turn this the other way and give it another shot. That's a bummer. Let's try this again. And again, I'm gonna turn this under just to get it out of the way and kind of have a better idea maybe there. I don't know. Okay, that's better, but still pretty far off. Ugh, I don't want to do this again. I'm gonna leave this one like this. Sorry guys, I just don't want to do it again. So let me see here. That means I have to turn both of them around, don't I? Let me think. I have this in here. I'm gonna do another one. Let me cut another one of these out. But in the meantime, I'm gonna try to stamp this a little better, okay? So when I come back, it's because I had to put it, I don't know how close you gotta have this to you to see through there with the beige and the color on there and stamp like right here. It's perfect, but wasn't so perfect. So I'm gonna have to use a stamp positioner. That's probably what I'm gonna have to do. Okay, I'm gonna do another one of these. I'll be right back here. And I'm gonna take this and I clean this off pretty well, hopefully well enough. And I'm going to use a stamp positioner to put this here, butt it up as far over and up as I can. It's sticking for some reason. Hold on. So my paper doesn't move. And the shingles do have a direction because there's like straight on this top and then here it has like a little curve to it. So you definitely want to do this correctly. And I'm just trying to make sure that I want this out here. Yeah. And again, it kind of goes here. So you have that little lip, but then it should be down here, okay? So I'm gonna pick that up. And that's the way we're gonna do it. What a mess. It really kind of cheesed me a little bit that I had to do this again. This is quick dry ink in Friar Brown, in case you're wondering. And let's see if we get a good impression. Alright, so that's much better. Again, super basic. Just there. Now I'm going to do the same thing for this guy. So you saw I didn't fold that one up, obviously. So I'm assuming this is going to be about the same. We can check it again. You can lay, clean it off, lay it down, but it should be about the same. So close enough is how I'm seeing this one. Right? And I think, just so we can kind of have an idea of what we're doing, it was over just a little bit. I'm going to just stamp right on the house. So just so you have an idea of how to put it together, I am going to put it together a little bit differently than I think they had envisioned. Because you can make like a little treat box or something like that, right? I'm just trying to see what I want to do for 4. Let's say this is the front of our house. And I'm just going to take the little door. And where's my stamping block? It's sitting here. And we have our little door here. Again, maybe you want to use a stamping tool because this... And I'll do it blue just for fun. Right? So I'm going to use parakeet. A little blue color. And make this straight up and down, I guess. Stamp on the front. Cute. The other thing it has is like a little window, and obviously we only need that for the front of the house. There's like a little window here, a little circle, like a little porthole window. So we'll use that just for fun. Ooh, I hope I don't mess this one up. It's tiny. I'm just putting on this block, but we can put it up here somewhere, like boom. It's a very big space between here and the window. If you have any like holly stamps, I think that'd be really cute too, to just hit it with some little greenery. You can put your own little swag on there. Here's some jet black. And I'm just going to put it here. Okay. And I'm just going to put this to the side. And we can take, let me put this away. It has a couple different little sets of windows that you can try out. I'll just use this one. And there's plenty of room here to put a couple of windows on each one. So, I don't know. I'll just do it in black. Again, stamping tool would be great. I'm just eyeballing this at this point. A little set of windows there. So Sarah had stamped them somewhere else, cut them out, and then put them on here. So that's just another way to do it. But I'm just eyeballing some windows here. And the back is going to have nothing, so I'm not going to put anything there. Ooh, no. Again, I'm eyeballing both of these. This is the front of the house. This one's kind of a little bit closer. I'm trying to make it symmetrical to what I did on the other side, but not perfectly. There's that. I'm going to let this dry, even though it's quick dry, for a second. I'm going to go wash my hands before I get ink all over my little project. And then we're just going to put it together. I guess I could have taken that moment to put a lot of things away, but I didn't. So we're just going to stick this together. I'm going to use a tape runner to make it quick. And I always say for things like this, I always like to use, what's that called? Like a wet glue, because it'll keep it together better, but, you know, do whatever you like. So we have these two pieces together, and basically you're just going to bring it all around. I think this has a lot of tabs that we don't need. But I'm trying to see what's better for me, because I like to make it so it looks clean. To be honest, if I did this again, I would cut these straight, because that's the kind of thing that I don't care for, but you know, do whatever you like. I'm just going to round that to look a little bit nicer. So I always like to tuck in like these little flaps in between the bigger flaps, that way it's a little bit more sturdy. That's the kind of thing I like to do, but you know, do it however you like. I think for this one, it may be because of the way it's cut that we have to go ahead and just put the outer flaps so it looks a little neater down here. See what I'm saying? Now it's just these two flaps that you see, but usually I like to tuck these others in between. Ooh, that sounded horrible. Alright, let me see here. Let me look at that and think about this. Okay, I haven't given this much thought. So, whenever you finish it up, you're going to have these little tabs sticking out the top, and I just feel like I don't want that. It's like a little treat box, I guess. But for me, that's not exactly what I wanted to do. I am going to use some wet glue on this inside, though, because I don't care for the way it's working out right now. I'm just going to put some wet glue, put that down, and then put some wet glue on this. Just stick down another piece. And on this last one, I'll use this just so it can stick fast. But again, I would normally use wet glue. I'm putting a little glue on here before I really shut this down, okay? So that way it sticks. I don't have to fuss with it later. And I'm just kind of keeping it all together at the bottom. So you saw I use that dry glue. And I'm going to take my little guy and rub this bottom part, making sure all that glue and everything else stays together. We can open this up if you, it doesn't have to stay like this, if that helps you out. And then just use whatever thing, even your hand can probably fit in there, to burnish and really make sure that's stuck together. And this side glue that I just used, I'm going to hold this for just a little while until it dries a little better, and then we'll finish up this top. Okay, so what you're supposed to do is put some adhesive here and then glue this together, and then you have this little top part. And it looks like a little treat box, looks like a little milk carton kind of thing. You know, you can do lots of stuff with it. And then you're supposed to have drawn those little holes. And basically for that, I would take like a crocodile or something, or a hole punch, but it has to be kind of small. And the crocodile has two sides, the smaller one, and do those punches, and then you can put a ribbon. I'm not sure why there was 3 holes, you know, because you can put 3 ribbons through there. I would just probably put one right in the center, but I don't want to do that. So what I'm going to do is cut one of these pieces completely off. If you were making this gingerbready, of course you could do all the distressing that you want. I'm going to cut this off. You probably don't even have to cut it off. You can probably just tuck it in, but I'm going to cut this off. And you can just do the same thing with your diamond pressed gingerbread house. You know, on the top it has a cute little like scallop. You don't have to do that. Just cut one of the sides off and then make it to what you want. If you're going to use it for like not holiday, right? Because I think a lot of people are asking about that. So I always kind of put these out so that the tension wants to push it against these, right? And that's kind of how I work this thing. I am going to put some wet glue all on this and against this. And this might seem weird to you because I just came up with how I wanted to do this, but I just want to make like a little house. I'm not going to use it for anything else other than this. So I'm just going to put this on this side. And actually you can even do that side first. Just kind of make sure you have it where you want it. Get your fingers in there. Get your fingers in there and make sure that's where you need it to be. It basically needs to meet up right at the edges, you know. So let's do that. Just since we have it open and we can at least make sure that one side is going to be touching where it needs to, right? Just hold that for a little while. Let me get this glue off my fingers. And then this flap, I'm just going to put it down like this on this side. And then bring this side over. And that's strictly because I just want this to be like a little house. I don't need it to be a decorative box or whatever. Let me get this glue off my hands. Let me do this again on this side. It kind of moved on me. There we go. Make sure that's tucked in right. Okay. I'm gonna have to distress a little bit, but here we go. I'm pulling it up towards that flap. And I'm just gonna continue holding it till it dries really well. And it's a little house like this. But that's just because I don't know what I want those other pieces for. I suppose if you want to leave that open so you can put treats in it and then you put the ribbon, you don't have to glue those flaps on the side. But then again, why are the flaps there, right? So it's just, you just work with it depending on what your project is that you want to use this for, right? So I'm going to continue holding this until it stays, kind of massaging it, going around and making sure things are touching, and I'll be right back. So I think it's as dry as it needs to be. So that's the basic construction. Is it my favorite project? I don't know, probably not. But one last thing, because this is not Christmassy at all. I brought this over because it's so funny. I had seen a video, I think Sarah did last week, maybe. It was like a live, but on the little Christmas stocking, and that people were asking her what this is. She said people were asking if it's a vest or something. I'm like, what? This is obviously going to this. What I want to know is what this is, right? That's the question we keep having. And people say it's garland or whatever, like, where? You know what I'm saying? Like on something else. And then why is there 2 sides? So I thought, oh, maybe you can swag it on the side of the house, but nope, it's still too big for that even. So I don't know what this is. And then, like I said, there's 2 dies. They're exactly the same. One is obviously flipped, but check this out. If I turn this way, it's the same die. So like, why are there 2 of this? You could cut 2 of these, and if you were to make a garland or make it a wreath, you cut 2. And then you get one of the die cuts and turn it this way and it'll match up perfectly. Still, you don't need 2 of these. So I don't know. I'm assuming it's for a wreath. That's how I see it. Maybe I'll use it soon. But I don't know. The reason I brought this out is because to make it more holiday, I thought I'll just cut out a little holly for the front of the house. So I'm going to use this little tiny holly. I'm going to cut it out on... I probably have smaller pieces of green and red somewhere, but I'm going to cut it out on this green and this red at the same time. I think it'll be okay. And I'm just going to pop this through my marquee. Ooh. I do keep my marquee in the bag, which is funny because I was like, well, it's right here next to me. I don't really need it to be in its bag, but I keep all the different things in the bag and everything's together, and I just grab it out of the bag when I need to use it. In the same spot, but just in a bag. So, I guess. let's see here. And I'll put this back. Oh goodness. Okay. And then these cut the same time, so I'm just going to cut this little red off. These scissors are huge. I should probably use a smaller scissor to make it nice and round, but I'm just going to use these. I know I'm really high up and it's such a tiny thing, but I'm just going to cut that. Cut this one. I am sweating bullets already. And I don't know if it's because it's hot or because this project kind of misses the mark for me, but alright. And I'm just going to put a little glue on here. Let's go. See if I still have enough sticky on here. Yep. Oh my gosh. And now my kids are starting to rustle over there. Okay. I'm just gonna hold that down real quick. And I'm just gonna put it on the front of our door here. Now you got Christmas going. That is too funny. I know people will tell me, oh, no, no, no. It's like, I'm doing these things because they're in the kit. Other than that, I might not do it, you know? I'm putting it at the top of the door. I guess you could put it here. I don't know where to put this, to be honest. Maybe just like right there. Why is it moving around so much? Alright, guys. So that is today's. Hopefully you got a little bit of clues like what to do, what not to do. Definitely use a stamp positioner. It was really hard to kind of like see through that, especially once you ink it up. Such a big space. And, you know, whatever. I wish it had dies. If it had dies, that would be much better because then you could cut into the thing or, you know, or even if it just cut the little holes from the window, that would be adorable. But nope. This is what it is. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll continue working with the box here and there, I guess, until the end of July. So another few days here. And thanks for watching, guys. I will see you all at the next one. Bye now.